Capricho de ninguna nena. Mi vida es una gran enredadera.
I'll never forget the first time I picked up a Wii Remote. That moment was every bit as impactful as the first time I picked up a video game controller in the first place. And by the way, Super Mario Bros. Was my first video game. Wii Sports was not, but it felt that important. Swinging your arm like a real tennis racket and realizing that those motions were actually doing something, your mind was instantly flooded with wild ideas about what this little white controller could do for video games. The obvious thing, or at least so I thought, was that we'd get more tennis games. It seemed like a pretty safe bet, right? The template for fantastic motion tennis controls was already there. You didn't need buttons, you didn't need an analog stick. The Wii Remote took care of all that stuff for you. And for the first time ever, that actually had me excited about the future of tennis video games. But this is not what I was expecting. All the steps forward taken by Wii Sports are stepped back by this game. This is Top Spin 4. So much for safe bets, I guess. Released earlier this year for all three of the major consoles, Top Spin 4 comes to the Wii in some obvious shadows. Even today, Wii owners would be hard-pressed to find a game with more satisfying motion controls than Wii Sports, or even a standalone tennis game more robust than Grand Slam Tennis. And unfortunately for 2K Sports' tennis alternative, Top Spin 4 fails to match either of those games in either department. Top Spin 4 is one of those sports games that seem unsure about what kind of sports game it actually wants to be. It tries to land its forehand right in the middle of an arcade-style sports game and a more realistic one, but in trying to do both, it succeeds at neither. Well, let's start with the career mode. You get started by creating your character from a pretty limited set of features, a set even more frustratingly selective for those of us who have long hair. Once your tennis career gets started, you get to hit the clay and play some mini-games. Unfortunately, you have to play through these repetitive challenges to unlock actual matches, so, get used to hitting tennis balls into colored zones. That's enthralling stuff, I know. Once you do get into tournament play, performing well allows you to level up your abilities and unlock new attire. Although, tennis clothes are the worst. Just look at this stuff. Why do I have to dress like I'm a shoe store employee? Why can't I just wear like a Voivod t-shirt or something? I mean, Fila? Forget Fila. Dimension Hatros! Although I do like that the bells chime for my opponents before each match. That's pretty brutal stuff. The bell tolls for thee! So there's some leveling up, and there's lots of unlockables, but otherwise, the career mode isn't a very enticing feature. Top Spin 4 does have some multiplayer components, but there's no online. And I can't believe I'm still saying that about Wii games. And speaking of things that third-party developers mostly fuck up on Wii, Top Spin 4 is a pretty ugly game too. The models are low poly, the textures are poor, the animations are stiff, and unfortunately, the game's controls don't do a whole lot to make up for that. I mean, the motions work, but only with moderate success, and frankly, they're kind of convoluted. It isn't a terrible game, but it's sad to see a game like Top Spin 4 so carelessly double fault on Wii.